All right, we are continuing our Liberty baseball preview series with some of these players here, and we have next up Victor Castillo. Victor, I just want to start by getting to know you a little bit. So let's just run through the bio. Tell us what year you are, how many years you've been at Liberty, what position you play, and then where you're from.
Thanks for having me. I'm a senior this year academically, junior on the field. This is actually my first semester, finishing up my first semester at Liberty.
Awesome.
My first 2 years I played at FAU in Boca Raton. And then I went the JUCO route for a year and went to college Central Florida. Had a blast there and, wanted to see what other opportunities were around. And now I'm at Liberty. Couldn't be much happier.
What position do you play?
Outfield.
Outfield. Okay, so just all three outfield, or one in particular?
Yeah, I mainly play the corners. I hope to play left this year.
Nice. Okay, so Boca Raton. Are you from that area? Where are you originally from in high school and stuff? Tallahassee,
Tallahassee,
Florida.
Florida. Went to Leon
Okay,
High School.
awesome. So I'm headed to Boca Raton in less than a week and be hanging out down there for the bowl game. We're staying right downtown Boca Raton, Misner Park. We're staying right beside that and doing
Yeah,
some fun stuff down there. Meisner, yeah.
It's a beautiful area over there. I heard the guys going over the football team's going over there. They're gonna have a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot more than it is right now here.
Yeah. So talk to me about being an outfielder at Liberty Stadium. You haven't yet. I mean, have you been practicing on the field so far?
Yes,
and
sir.
so what is it like being an outfielder? I know from just being there as a fan, the sun looks like it can be a problem out there in the outfield at certain times of the day, especially those evening games. The way the sun goes down, I can't remember if it's right field or left field, but one of you guys has a real problem with the sun. Have you encountered that at all in your practice?
Yeah, we play around with it a little bit in our scrimmages that we had this fall. Definitely, right field gets the brunt of the sun when it starts to set. But it gets tricky. Liberty is to me it's a unique ballpark. Just playing there this semester, it plays a lot bigger than you think, especially like from a fan perspective. We say that all the time. We feel like one of our advantages going into every home series that we have is the size of our ballpark and knowing how to defend that really well. We take pride in it definitely in our practice. We make it a point, especially for our outfitters. We know that we're the last line of defense, so we try to we in practice we stress not letting anything drop, backing up guys. Our gaps get pretty big, so as much as we can do to support our pitchers and just be ready for that one play that may change the game. We're always outfitters don't get that much recognition all the time, but when you have the opportunity for that one play, that's what matters.
All right, let's talk about a little bit of execution out there in the outfield for us non-baseball guys to try to learn a little bit about what's going out there. So when the ball's hit up in the air and you can tell it's going to kind of be a pop up towards you, or not a pop up, even a line shot, what is the first instinct and what is the first thing you're coached? And the reason I'm asking is because when I was playing baseball, I always wanted to take a step in and run towards the ball. Is your first step backwards? Does it just really depend on how the ball's hit? What is your first thought when you're trying to read that ball? Is it, hey, wait on it just for a second? What's going through your mind in that initial hit?
Yeah, of course, you're younger, you're always taught to take a step back, but I think the more experience you get, the when the level gets harder, balls are starting to hit a little harder. I think it's all about reaction, and you practice that in batting practice. I don't really try to take a first step back. I just try to react, however I see the ball coming. If it's a line drive in front of me, if I know it's going to go over my head, sometimes your first instinct is your best instinct, and you can practice those things just with agility drills and all that. But I just like to react. I don't like to get cookie cutter, because as soon as you get cookie cutter, you get messed up. Your feet get crossed. A lot of things can happen. But that's something I had to learn for sure. We're always taught take a step back, especially as an outfitter developing in high school. But I feel like at this point in my career is definitely what we practice every day is just reaction, timing, and that's everything. Reaction is key.
So another play that I'm curious about how it works is the pop up between you and center field, and you got It's going to be a tough play. You're both charging full steam ahead at it. It's right in between you. Um, is it who says who makes the call first, or is there one that has precedence over the other? Like if the center fielder says a peep, then you just kind of get out of there. How does that work from an execution standpoint on balls played right between you and center field, assuming that you're in left? How does that work in your brain? Is it like, okay, whoever makes the first noise gets it, or there's like a certain player that has precedence? And even the shortstop, I mean, coming back, making plays back there. Between you three, how does that work?
I think center fielder definitely holds the fort down there for us. We go off him. He's our captain in the outfield. Um, our center fielder is probably going to be Jalen Guy. He's done this for a long time. A lot of the Liberty fans know of him, and he's one of the best outfielders I've ever played with. And that holds value, especially to your corner outfielders when you can trust that center fielder. I would say for me and Jalen, we work a lot on of course, if he says something, one of those plays that are in between, maybe a line drive, like if I hear him, I'm going to back off. He's got it. But definitely the one that's in the middle, we kind of through our like batting practice, we work on, hey, if the ball's coming towards this angle in the gap, like he wants me to take the low route and he has the high route. So that meaning, I'm going to dive in front of him, and I always know that he's got my back. So if I go for a ball in the gap, and it's one that we don't know if it's like a line drive or pop up, it's maybe one of those in betweens, I'm probably going to dive in first. I'm going to go in front of him, and he's got my back. And whoever has the better angle at the ball, we're just going to go that way. We actually learned that this fall, me and him just working through stuff, and especially with other guys in the outfit as well, is just kind of setting like a basis of like what we're going to do in those like, oh crap moments. So yeah. me and Jalen have taken upon us to, I told him, if there's a ball in the gap, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to head straight to the ball, and you just come behind me. Sometimes the one behind you is the hardest one, but if you can dive and take a single away, that's what we try to do. So I'm always probably in front of Jalen. He's behind me. But there's little tricks that, we work together with. Communication wise, we have things such as, ball, take it. On the wall, we're talking always on the wall. So the interesting thing about Liberty is it's kind of gets hard when you're playing on an all turf field and there's no there's no dirt before the fence. So you don't have that, oh, I'm hitting the dirt, fence is right there. But we always, we when we're on the wall, we're playing, play through the ball, or wall. We're always in communication. So there's a couple of tricks that we like to have with each other.
Yeah. I guess that, man, that is so interesting. It's hit, and I'm always like listening and watching, seeing what happens out there. What about your approach at the plate? Talk to me about like some things that you're working on. What type of hitter are you, and what do you kind of does it change every game depending on who the pitcher is? You don't have to give too much information, but just trying to figure out, what is your approach at the plate? And are you a power hitter? You contact, get on base guy? What is your play? And do you try to just do it all, or what?
I think I like to do a little bit of both, of course, in this name of the game now, everyone likes to see home runs, but especially at the collegiate level, there's still I feel like it's still more that team environment when you're at the collegiate level and people are playing for each other. So that's what that's my approach. And it's something that I've learned this past year, something that's helped me a lot when you really have that team approach and you're just trying to get on base. It generates a better, your stats look better, and it's your offense is like at the end of the season, your offensive stats are better. It's something I took, I try to be very disciplined this fall. I took that, very serious this fall. Every time I got in the box, I try to simplify every at bat. So if there's a job to be done on the bases, if it was getting a runner over, or if that's a man on third base with no outs, just getting a run, a bloop single does just as well as a double in the gap in that situation. So that's what kind of goes through my head. I like to keep it very simple. I don't, there's always times for those big swings, and I'll take those big swings when they're needed. But if there needs to be a job done, even if that's taking a walk to start an inning, that's usually what I try to execute. That, when you can simplify it, I think it just makes the game a lot easier. And that's what I tell a lot of our younger guys. a lot of people who ask me, what is your approach in the box? I feel like just keep it simple, be disciplined, take your walks. Taking walks is an important thing, something that, we get so anxious to hit when we're in the box sometimes. And sometimes, a walk is just as good as a hit. I've always learned that from a lot of great hitters, that I've had, like, that I've looked up to in the past, and a lot of great coaches. So sometimes when you're in a slump, you just need one walk to get you out of it. So just being disciplined and, just taking everything, living in the moment, living in that spot that you're in at bat, not thinking about, if you're hitting in the first inning, not thinking about your seventh inning at bat, just taking it pitch by pitch.
Last question here is just about this NIL collective, and I want to know, just recently formed about a week ago, or a little bit before that. I want to know your guys' first reaction and the team's reaction. How important is it to have this extra tool or this extra resource, and how cool is it to kind of be a part of that? And then what's been the team reaction? Is it exciting for you guys to be at a G5 level playing baseball in the ASUN, and getting to take part in the NIL money that's being floated out there?
I think it's kind of surreal at this point, not a lot of, it's a blessing, not a lot of schools, even at the mid-major level, and I would say even some bigger schools, get this opportunity, because it really does take a team behind the scenes to really get it going, I feel like. And that's what Liberty's done a great job. You guys as well. You guys have done a great job, supplying this for the athletes, everybody at Liberty. And I think it's kind of been easy for us to enjoy the benefits of the NIL collective, because we're able to sit back, work on our craft, go to practice, and then it's kind of rewarding when you get to, go home and you're like, hey, check your influencer app. Like, you have something on influencer. Like, it's kind of rewarding, and you're like, wow, like, it's almost like I can just go do my thing, and the team gets better. We're all getting better at the same time, and we're getting rewarded for it. It's kind of, it's a blessing. I appreciate y'all for everything y'all have done in that way. I know it's hard behind the scenes, some things that a lot of athletes don't see, but I think that's the main reason about it, especially being in baseball. It's kind of a surreal, moment, because you're not used to it. Everybody talks about NIL, football comes to mind when you first talk about it. There's a lot of money in that, but seeing it trickle down to the other sports is really, I like it. I've had a blast just getting to know about it. I've attended a few NIL workshops that our academic advisors have provided for us, and just learning about it. It's definitely confusing, but when you have a good group like we do here at Liberty, it makes it a lot better, and you get to enjoy your time a little bit more.
Awesome stuff, man. Hey, what are you trying to do after school? You have any type of aspirations? Let's talk after baseball. Let's say, what's your degree in, and what interests you right now?
So my major's in sports management right now, and I want to be an athletic director one day. With
Awesome.
I want to pursue a coaching career at first when I get out of college. See coaching at the collegiate level. I've always, just growing up in baseball has been like what I wanted to do, and I have a little bit of coaching experience right now, coaching some with my dad and travel ball, my little brother here and there. But I want to see where that can take me at first. I want to see what I can bring to the table. I want to inspire collegiate athletes just like myself. So heading to the coaching route at first, and then branching off to maybe athletic administration after a few years, seeing where that can take me.
Awesome. Good stuff, man. Hey, it was great catching up. Looking forward to watching you play baseball this spring, and appreciate you doing this morning. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your winter here, and we get keyed up here in February. And looking forward to watching the team have some success here, and appreciate all your time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, Chad.